Alright, yo, I'm trying to throw this up before everybody else does. Yo, I just watched Geechi versus T-Top. I don't want to say classic, but phenomenal battle. So far, I wanted to do more of the recaps for all the other battles, but I had a busy day, so all the other battles I didn't get to watch in full. I'm gonna have to check them out after. But Geechi and T-Top, bruh. First of all, this venue, I think the issue with this venue is that because they wanted a big stage, but they weren't gonna fill it up, a big venue, they weren't gonna fill it up. You don't get as much crowd reaction as you would like for a lot of these performances. Because remember, B Dot battle JC was not getting that much crowd reaction. But for this battle, you got the feel of that. Geechi starts out. Now, Geechi's first round was pretty light. He had a lot of cold stuff. Even when he came out the gate, he's like, ain't you supposed to be on strike? You feel me? You know that he was going to start like that. And, saying, nigga, you's a bitch. All that shit. Unfortunately, like, it's just a lot of stuff he was throwing was cold, but not everything was landed, right? But he had a solid first round. T-Top comes, and this is the old T-Top, the swag, the angles, the T-Top that battled Math Hoffa, the T-Top that battled Sue Surf. This T-Top was fire. I feel like after the whole strike incident, T-Top definitely felt like he had to come back with that same old energy to try to prove, just so people can't throw this shit in his face. So when he went in that first round, bruh, he was talking about, how Geechi got out of jail and stuff like that. He took the angle. I never usually like those angles because I feel like people use them too much. But once again, T-Top's the type of dude that he could take an angle and he could still make it sound great. And throughout that first round, T-Top was joking. He was swagging. The angles were crazy. The bars were crazy. It was the old T-Top. That first round was pretty clear to T-Top. Now, the funny thing is, now, Geechi came out with the Al Capone jacket, right? And Geechi said, like, towards the end, he's like, man, people say that people don't win with these, the Al Capone thing on. But, you gonna still get smoked, something like that. It makes sense for Al Capone to fuck with a mafia nigga. It sounded dope. But after that first round, I was like, Geechi, take that jacket off. Please, unzip the jacket, take your use a bit shirt out and use that. Please, Geechi. And he didn't. But second round, Geechi came back. He came with the angle of how T-Top, he's not a man of his word, you feel me? So you're going to stand on the corner, sell drugs, but you ain't going to stand on your word because he had to apologize for Kanika Jenkins. He had to apologize for the strike stuff. Geechi went straight into the strikes. This round was not a punchline round. This round was strictly angles, and I liked it. Now, there's not a lot of punches that he lands in this round, but the facts that he comes out with in this round and the way he paints the narrative, to me, he pulled T-Top on T-Top. He came straight with the angles, and this round, to me, it wasn't as crazy as T-Top's first round, but it was a crazy round for Geechi. T-Top comes afterwards. I forgot exactly the angle that T-Top used. Like, T-Top had angles all 3 rounds. He was coming at him. I felt like T-Top had a solid second round. Bars were heavy, like he was knocking it back to back. But to me, the second round was pretty clear to Geechi. So it was 1-1 going into the third. Geechi comes back with, one of those great third rounds. Except it's not a whole round about his life. He's taking angles on T-Top. He's making some of the bar comparisons again, you feel me? Talk about how... I think he said something about how, he had a homie that was 12 years old or 15 years old and got shot. He never had pussy before. Him being buried was the first time he'd been inside of a box. Like, that thing was crazy. He had crazy reaction this round. To me, this round, was probably Geechi's best round, of course. Like, Geechi in the thirds. This man came for it. Third round consistent, back-to-back punches, a few dry spots, but very small, right? T-Top comes back with his third. Starts out slow and then starts cooking all the way to the end of his third. Crazy back-to-back punches, haymakers. He literally went, like, these guys for being cool with each other, I like the fact that they both went for the jugular. T Top went into, you know me, I don't know anything, you don't know me, but whatever. I don't know anything about this discussion, but this is battle rap based off of how it sounded. It sounded good. He went on the discussion of the Crips and how they started and stuff, and how they weren't the first gang, and how they beef with each other or whatever. They're the first black gang to start shooting each other. And the way he painted it and delivered it, first it was cringeworthy because I'm like, damn, you going there? And then he landed it crazy. Now, of course, the West Side, I'm pretty sure was tight. But, you know, this man, he went off with it. And he landed a crazy haymaker. He says Gotti was from Queens, you know, the venues in Queens and stuff like that. And then so he's like, how in the world you from the West, but you got to take the name of an East Coast boss or something like that. Shit landed. That thing was crazy. All the way up until the end. I can't, you know, tell you everything, but to me, that third round could be debated. I'm pretty sure the West Coast guys are going to go for Geechi's third more because it's more relatable to them, and the fact that T-Top went at the whole gang shit. And I'm pretty sure it was, a lot of them would be like, oh, it's misinformed. Nah, you don't know about this and that. But regardless, if we're talking strictly performance, you know, not into like the deep histories of what people are talking about, performance-wise, I give it a T-Top 2-1. I felt like the third is debatable. Both of them went crazy. The thing I loved about this battle is both of them came hard with angles at each other. And they both give off such a real vibe that it's not like if one of them's talking about something, it's not going to sound as good. You know, sometimes when someone doesn't have the same level of authenticity as somebody else, when he's talking about certain things, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, what do you know about it, or whatever, you know, or it's not gonna have that same feel. But when they were talking to each other, to me, they both gave off a real good feel for what they were saying. So it seemed like two bosses really having a discussion. I felt overall, though, what gave T-Top the win was that I feel like he attacked his angles more sharply. Of course, that's T-Top's thing. And his performance was through the roof. Great, excellent performance. Pretty sure, I feel like with T-Top, him and K-Shine probably spar together a lot because they're both excellent performers. So I think that that definitely helped T-Top because his performance was crazy. But yeah, T-Top 2-1.